It's Heidi Summers, health and wellness expert with your local health update. I get so many emails and calls about CBD, the incredible oil from the hemp plant that's being used to provide relief to millions for joint discomfort, inflammation, and nagging injuries. It's the most talked about alternative health breakthrough in years. The CBD product I always recommend comes from CBD Labs, the gold standard of CBD. CBD Labs oil goes to work fast to relieve your discomfort and deliver the results one thought nearly impossible without a prescription. This powerful oil is not marijuana and contains no THC, the ingredient that gets you high. Oh yeah, CBD Labs oil has also been used to help thousands get a great night's sleep. Don't be fooled by all the imitators. Find out how to get a free bottle while supplies last.
To get your free bottle of CBD Labs CBD oil, 800-413-7451. That's 800-413-7451. Your free bottle for a limited time. 800-413-7451. 800-413-7451.
WQEE 99.1 FM The Key. Home of Southern Sports and Talk. Newman, Sharpsburg, Franklin.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When you hear music, do the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level? I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM The Key for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
In the market for either buying or selling your home? City First Mortgage Service, LLC is the first place for all your needs. Branch manager John P. Lewis and his staff can serve you with a smile and professional courtesy. Serving Georgia, Alabama, Florida, 770-598-0860. John P. Lewis, City First Mortgage Service, LLC. We place you first.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele. It's now time for the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe, each and every week at this time on 99.1 FM WQEE. Here's this week's special.
Welcome to the House of Light presents Wisdom Cafe here on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. You didn't catch me off guard this morning. I'm ready for you.
Yay! Well, this is Wisdom Cafe.
That's right. That's right.
That's true, and you're ready every Friday morning at 10 a.m. for us. And we deeply appreciate that.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually brought a special guest. I think you've met her once before. Mm-hmm. She comes into the House of Light every Thursday at 2 p.m. And is available to share her wisdom. She's there to discuss life. Isn't that a big word? What is life?
Big word. Yeah. Used to be a cereal, but
I think it still is. That's true. Oh my gosh, we could really do a whole show on that, couldn't we? Yeah. Wow.
She's right
Good
down,
one, Ryan.
She's right down notes now. She's like, wait a minute.
I love that. Well, we were discussing the show yesterday, and I just looked at her in awe, and I said, wow, you are just walking wisdom, is what I like to call her. Walking wisdom, an embodiment of wisdom. You know the old saying, been there, done that? Some people have a little bit, maybe perhaps of a negative connotation to that. But for me, it's always been, I've been there. I've done that. Right. I don't want to do it again. I want to do something new and exciting, right? Well, Lynn is one of those people that truly has been everywhere and done everything. All the way from, and I have permission, all the way from incarceration to ordination. Wow. She is an ordained minister.
That is awesome.
Yes, and she's been incarcerated. So her journey of life has been so enlightening and full of lessons and wisdom gained. And every Thursday at 2 p.m., if you're here in Newman, Georgia, stop by the House of Light and just say hello and maybe soak up a little bit of that wisdom. Ask a question, because she's probably going to have an answer.
There you go.
Because you know what? Everything is not right or wrong. It just is. Correct?
I like that, yes.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
When you begin to understand that, it makes life a lot easier, because then you don't have to be right all the time.
True. But some of us like to be right all the time. So.
All right, so I'd like to introduce Lynn, and we were discussing, it's a very cool topic. You discovered something, right? Just numbers-wise. I'm a numbers girl. I'm a Virgo. I can't help it. The analytical mind kicks in a lot. So you have some numbers, interesting numbers.
I have some numbers, but before I get to that, I'd like to tell you what I think life stands for.
Okay.
L-I-F-E.
Yeah?
Love is fantastic every day.
I
like
love it. I love that.
And
that's beautiful.
That is my life now.
Yeah.
But the numbers. I don't know how I got started on this one, but I looked up to see how many countries there are in this world. That, the earth
right
that we live in. I don't know about other parts. How many do you think? Any ideas?
Well, I know there's 7 continents.
That's true.
And there's 50 states.
But those continents are made up of a total of 195 countries.
All right.
Now, 2 of those, it may be debated, because some people don't think that there are 2 of them that are not considered countries. One of them would be, like in Rome, the Catholic Church has their little area, and they keep that separate. They have their own government. And then there is another one, I can't remember right offhand what it is. But we'll count them. For our purposes, there's 195 countries. I never thought there were that many, actually.
That is a lot of countries.
Countries.
Yes.
I mean, we only hear about 5 or 10 of them all the time.
Well, that's true. Yeah, the big ones.
The big
exactly.
that are always in the news.
Always in the news.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people, obviously, who know how to mind their own business and take care of themselves.
Because they're not in the news.
You never hear about them. But speaking about those people, do you have any clue how many people there are in this world?
I think there's about 8 billion is what I'm to understand, that we're very close to 8 billion. Or have we breached 8 billion?
I think so. And
is it closer to 9?
I think so. And each one of them give us $1 and we'll be all right.
Yeah, that's right.
But I know scientists or people say that
Yes.
When you go over 8 billion or something, the world's too small. It can't hold that many people.
Right.
That we need to start, slowing down, or people, that's, I've heard we've reached a critical point in our population.
Right.
Well, we're not really that close to going over the 8 billion yet. However, I found it very interesting in looking for the number that there's an actual website that says it's current and it keeps track, and you can watch it and see the number changes all the time.
That would be fascinating.
I think it's fun to watch, but it can't possibly be real, because you don't call them up and say, okay, I just had a baby, or okay, I just lost someone. How do they know to change that number? I think it's just a guess, but it is fun to watch. You can't really get a specific number because it's constantly changing.
True.
The number I got the first time I looked it up was 8,045,311,447 people.
Wow.
Now that's pretty exact. But here's the thing that I know really boggles my mind. Of all those people, no two are exactly alike.
I agree. Even identical twins are not alike.
That's right. They are not alike.
There is something that is a tell. Even parents will say that. Mm-hmm. Whether it's in the physicality of them, like a mole here, or, a little bit shorter nose or something like that. Or it could simply be in the way they present themselves.
Yes, it's not just the physical outside. It's what goes on in the brain that makes people different also. And so, if that's the case, that there's none alike, why do we run around expecting people to be just like us or think like us?
Good question.
Or why do we get upset when people aren't thinking like us? Or try to tell us something to do that we don't want to do?
That kind of brings it back around to what I said. It's not right nor wrong. It just is.
It just is.
And if people can really kind of grasp that a little bit and understand. But no, there's something called the ego that is in each and every one of those 8 billion, 45 million and more people, right? Mm-hmm. And that always wants to be right. You're laughing, Ryan.
Yes. Yes. No comment from the peanut gallery, as I used to say. I get the news every morning, so yes, it's making me laugh. Yes.
I hope everyone else is laughing out there too. So, what is it with the ego that also helps define our individuality to make us different? But what is it that we can? Is it the ego that makes us different, or is it something else?
Well, Freud was right on. There is a lot to do with the id and the ego that has created who we are. But the thing that I'm most concerned with is helping people to understand that who is in control of that, who we are.
And who is it?
Well, by golly, everyone is in control of themselves, whether they know it or not.
Okay. But, some people think, or some people like to give that control up, not only to another individual in what is called a codependent relationship, but some people also really, really give it up to what they call whatever spiritual entity they are choosing to align with, whether it is God, Buddha, Allah, all the Hindu gods, Shiva, that's how we lost the Twin Towers in New York, right? I mean, it was Allah told me to do it, so I did it. That's not in control of yourself. They give up their control to what they call a higher power.
Well, that gets to be a really interesting topic, because on the one hand, we are taught that we are created by a great creator who provides us with all we need to exist and prosper. And I guess it's just each individual of 8 billion decides for themselves which they're going to believe in. Where are they getting their power? But the bottom line is, it's inside you, whoever you are, and you are the one that pushes the buttons.
I agree. And I want to go deeper with that, because I do believe that that is part of what keeps tripping us up as a human being. A human being. We're supposed to be, not do so much.
Exactly.
And that is what the confusion is. And that's why I kind of threw that out there. I wanted to see if we could... When people give themselves to that God that they are aligned with and lose themselves in the process, they're not really human beings. They are, in my opinion, puppets, slaves, because then they lose themselves in trying to do what they believe that God is asking them to do. And a lot of times it's aligned in writings like the Bible, like the Torah, like the Bhagavad Gita, the different books, the different histories that have been written for humanity, to not be so much as a this is it and this is only it, but a lot of them, I believe, are stories. In other words, this is what happened. This is how I lived my life. This is what I did. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, it's the Gospels. They're talking about their life, with the life of Christ, which was changed. I'm not going to go there. When it was brought into different languages, there is a lack of understanding when you go from one language to another. Because we can take the word love, and the definition that I have is different than what you have, which is different than what Ryan has, which is different than what each and every one of you that are listening at this very moment have. There are so many definitions of love. So when we speak of love, what are you speaking of? It's up to the individual to be able to take whatever they're being presented with and then decide what they are going to do with it, which is what you're saying. Every individual is in charge of themselves. And when you understand that, then the choices become more aligned with the God that you're wishing to align with. Because that is what every God, no matter what name it is, comes from that one energy that created all of us.
Keyword energy.
Because that's what we are, right?
Everything,
energy beings.
Everything is energy. Now, when I was a child, I grew up in the traditional religion, which taught me that I was no good, that everything I did was wrong, but it was okay because I could go to a specific building and get forgiveness.
Yes. Yeah.
So everything was okay. But when I got to be an adult,
yeah,
okay, I learned the hard way. But I finally figured out, my goodness, I'm in charge of what I do and what I think. And I can choose to go this way, or I can choose to go that way.
Yes. Yes, that's what it is. It's all choice. And the realization that you're in charge, to me, comes from that journey within. When you go inside yourself, you begin to question what God you're serving. Why are you making me do this? Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to do this? They have so many steps, and do this and do that, and don't do this and don't do that. Why? That's, to me, going within. You begin to look inside and ask, what do I want to do? What are the choices that will bring me joy? What are the choices that will make my life happy and bring me abundance? And when you do that, you realize you are aligned with that God that you were once serving. You are now embodying. So there's a big difference. And I think that is, where we're at. And that's why I said I agree with you. Because we are in charge of ourselves. And when we realize that we've got that God, whatever it is, the God that we love, that we align with, which is the one energy, when you really truly find it, that is inside of you, that is making you alive right now. When you find that, then yes, you are totally in charge, because then the co-creation process begins that everybody talks about, because that's what it is, right?
Right. And you can tell, no matter where your mind is on gods and religion and whatever, you can tell where you are by looking at your experiences and by looking at your surroundings, because your surroundings are a reflection of what's going on inside you. Now, if you feel unhappy most of the time, if people are giving you trouble, there's something going on that's not flowing with the good, wonderful energy that you are made of and available to you. So you might have to make some changes. I hate the big C word, but
that's
if you
what it's all
have to
about.
get aligned with your personal energy and make it work for you to make you happy. It's not about getting stuff. It's not about having money or this or that. It's about being. And that involves health and everything else.
Right.
And you have it. You have it. Every one of the 8 billion people on this planet has that same energy. It's all a matter of what you're doing with it.
Yes. A person, all of you guys out there in radio land listening to us right now, there is a person, Joe Dispenza, has some wonderful, wonderful messages out there about the mind and how you can take it back and be in control of your life. And it has to do with your emotions, with all of your choices. When you align yourself with you, the God that is you, then the choices you make are in line. And the unhappiness you were talking about, you have to change, right? And that's the hardest thing to do. People don't like change. People don't like change. So you're right. It's but once you do, you realize that all of a sudden life becomes easy and flowing because you're making choices for you. You are in charge.
One good choice is to go to the House of Light.
Thank you, Lynn. Yes. Is it time? What I'd like to do is go ahead and tell everybody some of the opportunities we have at the House of Light where you can help align yourself with you, with the capital Y, right? So we're already through like half of August. Where is this time flying to? That's what I want to know.
Christmas.
I was going to say, I want to go there, wherever time's going, because it's moving fast. All right, we're on a bullet train right now is what's going on. So today is Friday the 10th, and April will be at the House of Light today. We have several practitioners that come in daily, so please go on Facebook, House of Light GA. Our Facebook page has our calendar at the very, very top of the page. You can check and see what practitioner is going to be there in the house. But I did want to speak about a few special offerings this Sunday at 2 p.m. I'll be doing the Tuning In Together, where we discover frequencies and the healing properties they have within our bodies with tuning forks. Tuning in together. And then on Monday, the next day at 6 p.m., we have two things going on at the House of Light. Vanya will be teaching a Major Arcana tarot class. So if you're interested in tarot and want to know a little bit more about the Major Arcana, which, believe it or not, our life is kind of based on that. When you really look in it and study it, you'll see it's a very, very, very ancient divination. Major Arcana Tarot class at 6 p.m. And then we're doing our Reiki Share Circle at 6 p.m. So come and get some healing love at 6 p.m. and learn some tarot on Monday the 14th. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. we have meditation. And Friday the 18th, we're having a very special offering from Allison, exploring supported employment. And this is for all of those human beings that I like to call, in a very endearing, loving way, as special, because they have unique abilities that are different than ours. They're on the spectrum and therefore have heightened abilities elsewhere. So if you have if you are or have a child that has any of these special needs, then come and listen. 7 p.m. Exploring Supported Employment from Briggs. That's Briggs here in Newman. All right, next week I'll go over the following week with our offerings. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week on the House of Light Presents Wisdom Cafe.
You've been listening to the House of Light Presents the Wisdom Cafe on 99.1 FM WQEE. The House of Light, a wellness center at 29 Jackson Street here in Newnan, is a place for people to relax and find true healing. For additional information, 407-414-6711. Remember to tune in next week for another healing message from the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.